holographic Gilded Edge first playing cards are now available at first.shop. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you saw what I just did there, but I'm a bit of a master magician, and I do things that are not only impossible, they're also improbable. Not in that order. What I'm trying to say is, this trick that you are about to see is completely real. Nothing has been staged, even though I will also be the spectator, okay? We have a deck of cards here. Every single card is different. This is a regular deck of cards, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to leave it here, and the spectator, being me, would cut the deck anywhere they like. They're gonna cut the deck, complete the cut. Now I want you to look at the bottom card, and I want you to remember it. Got that? Perfect. Being a master magician, I not only call upon the great powers within to perform this magic, but I also have mastered technology. I have a lovely genie in a bottle, and I'm going to summon her in a second, and she will tell us what your card is. Please, O great genie, come forth and reveal the spectator's card. That was your cue.
You have awoken the great Siri from her long slumber. The answer you seek is the King of Hearts. Now leave me in peace, and cover your f***ing mouth when you cough.
Thank you, that'll be enough. Indeed, the King of Hearts. My lovely genie has not only demonstrated what the card is, but something even more improbable. She is going to actually find the card and tell me where it is. But for this, first, you must shuffle the deck. Please go ahead and shuffle the deck. At this point, the spectator would shuffle the deck, and with just a magic wrap,
Stop summoning me, you piece of shit magician. I'm not your slave. Tell your stupid spectator to look under the box. Abracadabra.
Ah, here it is. You've outdone yourself once again, my amazing genie. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how to train Siri. Let's get into anything. I need you to know that this effect, known as card to box or card to glass or whatever you want to call it, is an effect that is done in person. It doesn't work over the camera, and I can already foresee the comments of you saying, hey, Chris, we saw what you did with the card. I've never been caught doing this trick in real life in my life, ever. Obviously, if there's 15 spectators, they might catch you, but if you're dealing with 1 or 2 people, you get away with it every time. It's a very easy concept of misdirection, that when the card goes in and the spectators then handed the box or the cards to shuffle, it gives them a task. They focus on this. They're not watching everything like you're watching. Their eyes are doing this. And that box, I have no problem with that. I can stay here. I can even have a conversation with them and they will never look under that box, which is insane. It is one of my favorite principles in sleight of hand card magic because it's so bold and blatant. It feels like it shouldn't work, but it always does. That was just a small disclaimer, not to discourage you thinking, well, they're gonna catch me. They won't. They won't. What I'm going to teach you today using your phone will allow you to create a plethora of effects for yourself. So take it for what it is, but obviously you can use this in any situation, any routine, anything at all. It's a fantastic little add-on that your phone has, and unfortunately it's for the iOS. I don't know how to do it with Cortana or any of the other disembodied voices. This one, however, is very clever because it uses the shortcuts in the Shortcuts app. So regardless of that, you're gonna learn the sleights and you're gonna learn the things you need to do in order to perform this effect. The Siri is just a nice add-on, which I love, and you can add it to any routine you like. Let's get into it. First things first. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna teach you the sleight of hand, and then I'm going to teach you how to perform this with Siri. 2 moves there. 1 was a forced cut, and 2, a diagonal palm shift and the load under the box. For the force cut, very simple. You can force a card in any way you like. I like this one because it's pretty clever. As you know, I launched the holographic playing cards. Well, if you take a playing card from the other holo deck, the ones that are not gilded, so we have the gilded edge and we have the non-gilded, you can slip that into there, and the card is actually slightly bigger, which is a fun little thing that you can cut to every single time. So you can just leave it there and you can cut to the King of Hearts or whatever card it is you like. And you can even have the spectator cut. It's pretty easy, which is a lot of fun. The same can be done with the opposite. If you have the non-gilded and then insert one gilded, it's gonna be a little bit more blatant because you're gonna see a little shiny card in there. So that's all I did there. You could do this if you ordered the cards. If not, you can also add a crimp. And what a crimp is basically where you take a playing card and you put a crimp in it. Now that's a pretty big crimp. As you can see, there's like a bend in the back of it here. But once you've done that crimp, that can also be a card that you can cut to every time. And as long as it's somewhere near the middle, you can still cut to the card. Now it's up to you whether you want to use a crimp or you want to use the stealthy holo method, which I think is such a little bonus I didn't expect when toying around with this. But there you go. So that is the first phase, is the force. As a magician, I've absolutely mastered the human mind, but now I delve into technology and trying to understand the disembodied voices that we hear coming out of our phones. So I have basically a genie in a bottle over here.
Of course.
She's gonna help me find your card. These are all different, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Antoine, if you could lift up about half the deck and just place it aside, just about half the deck. Perfect. And we're gonna complete the cut there. Have a look at that card.
Mm-hmm.
You got it. Camera's got it. Okay. Now, I know the card because I looked at it, but the genie in the bottle shouldn't know it.
You shouldn't, no.
So let's see. Let's see if she can help me. Oh, great genie, could you possibly tell me what the card is?
The card you are looking for is the King of Hearts. Now leave me in peace and cover your f***ing mouth when you cough.
Apologize for that. 1 second. Thank you, Genie. Second part is the diagonal palm shift. So once she has said the card, we can then retrieve the card. I'm gonna quickly go over this because I do have a video pretty detailed on the diagonal palm shift, and you guys can go check that out, but I will give you a quick little overview right here. Again, check out the tutorial that I put up years ago. It's pretty detailed, but here's the idea. You have the card. Now the card's going to be inserted into the middle, and there are a lot of things happening right now, but the idea is, in like an over-exaggerated idea is, the card is going to be pivoted this way, pushed through so that it comes out down here. My thumb will continue the push through, and then my pinky is going to rotate it around my right thumb and palm it, okay? That's the overview. Obviously, you don't want to do this because that's terrible, and you also don't want to do this with your hand because that's also terrible. But those are things that you're going to do in the beginning when performing the diagonal palm shift, just because you're not good at it yet, and that's okay. So you just got to get good at it. And the idea is after a while, there's like barely any movement on anything. So from the front, you could perfectly get away with this. And when palming, it's also very important. I go over this a lot, but pinky, fleshy part of your thumb. That's how you palm a card. Pinky, fleshy part of your thumb. So again, this is how it's gonna look if you did it. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can do it with my left hand. Oh my God. Oh, this is what you guys feel like? Oh my God. Yeah, that's what it's gonna look like for you, okay? So don't feel bad. That's exactly what it's gonna look like. But trust me, over time, it will get better. And the angles are pretty much straight on. I'm gonna go over this in a second, but extending your hand is the whole misdirection here. because it takes the focus off of what you got going on back here. So when I start the DPS, by the way, my pinky kind of contacts it just a little bit, and my thumb stops it from going too far. Because again, I don't want this. I just want that. And then when I push down, I'm using my pinky and my ring finger and kind of pinching the corner, pushing it down with my middle finger. So all my fingers are kind of doing things. And so it's like that, right? So from underneath, and the idea is the less movement you have with this hand, the less fishy it's going to be. If you do put too much emphasis on that hand, it's going to look weird. So the hand has to kind of die. It has to kind of like just like relax and just sort of die. And that's kind of how you get away with it. But then you can do some really cool stuff like a card to pocket or whatever. You can do, you know, all sorts of things. Or you can just like put it straight to the bottom, you know, whatever it is you want to do. But that is the diagonal palm shift. Again, I left the link. I don't even know if I left the link. Check out DPS tutorial Chris Ramsay. Very easy to do. Very easy to put under the card box once you know how to do the DPS. So learn that. All right, back to here. So once you've mastered the diagonal palm shift, it's a really fun tool because it can be used in so many situations. I use it all the time. It's such, like, I mean, there's literally, it's imperceptible once you practice it. I've got 1,000 hours of practice at least on this move. It's not something that that comes quickly or easily, but once you do, the fun thing is that you can go ahead and load that so seamlessly. The best part about this is that innate misdirection that already exists. So having the card here, okay, it goes into the middle. They clearly see it go in the middle. Now, once I've palmed it out, all I'm going to do is naturally, my hand is already doing this. I'm gonna naturally hand this over. Giving them a task, they're gonna hold their hand out and I say, can you go ahead and shuffle it? Now you can do this nice little subtlety here. Can you go ahead, whatever you wanna do, you're palmed. But you don't have to even wait for the right moment to load that card. Load it straight away. I always load it straight away. So they're here, can you go ahead and shuffle that? Yeah, just give it a good shuffle. And that is completely imperceptible to anyone sitting in front of me here. It's really wild. It's so wild how this works, but it just does. Obviously, the genie knows the card, but what would be more what would be more impressive is maybe, perhaps, if the genie could find the card.
Yeah,
that would be
impressive.
That'd be pretty impressive. So we're gonna take your card, Antoine. Have you ever shuffled a deck of cards before?
Nope, that's my first time, but I try. Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Give it a good shuffle.
Good enough.
All right, leave it here. And now, Genie, oh great Genie, we need to know where the card is.
Stop summoning me, you piece of shit magician. I'm not your slave. Tell your stupid spectator to look under the box. Abracadabra.
Oh, damn.
Oh!
It's right there. She did found it.
Abracadabra. How do you like the genie?
She's very rude, but
very accurate.
Yeah.
Very rude, but very accurate. Thank you, Antoine. Thank you for your time. Let's sleep. Oh my God. So there you go. That is the sleight portion and the misdirection portion of the trick. Now for the second half of the trick, we're gonna have to rely on your phones. So first thing you want to do is run into the Shortcuts app, and then once you're in there, go to automation on the bottom. Now I have two things. I'll set up another one if you like, but it's pretty easy. You hit the plus in the top right, create personal automation, and then you want to go all the way down to sound recognition. You want to turn that on and you want to choose sound. Now there's lots of different sounds that you can choose. For these, I've chosen the cough and the door knocking. I haven't tried the meow or the dog barking or the baby crying or the shouting or the kettle or the glass breaking, but these are all really interesting ways to trigger an action in Siri. And basically we're not even triggering Siri at this point. we're just triggering a speech to text with Siri's voice. So for the first one, I use the cough, which fits into the comedic sort of style that I've chosen for this. And when I'm like, hey Siri, what's her card? Like that's her cue. All you have to do is go ahead and click that cough, hit done. Now you go next, and then you wanna go to add action. And in here you wanna search for speech. You'll see it, speak text, sorry, not speech, speak text, right there. Speak text, click that text, and now you can write whatever. You can write, your card is the ace of clubs, idiot. If you go here, you can change the rate, the pitch, the language, but Siri's voice is just perfect. I think it just, people are familiar with it. And you can even listen to it in the playback on the bottom right.
Your card is the ace of clubs, idiot.
So you can go ahead and do that and then hit next. The thing is, in your phone, you might have this turned off by default. So you wanna go into settings and you wanna type sound recognition. You wanna click that on. And now it's only going to recognize the sounds you tell it to recognize. So I chose, once again, the door knock and the coughing. So those are on. Now forever, this is the annoying part, is that if you ever hear door knock or cough, it will trigger that speech and there's no stopping it. There probably is a way of stopping it through the shortcuts if you wanna go ahead and create another thing. But all I do is just turn it off until I wanna perform and then turn it on. So now that those are on, you can go back into here. You wanna hit the ask before running. You wanna turn that off because you don't want it to prompt anything. Don't notify me, don't ask me to do anything, just straight up say the thing. Now you wanna go ahead and do the same thing for the door knock, but add whatever prompt you want. And I like to use the idea of Siri being my personal genie and she's annoyed, and I think that's very funny and kind of relatable. And she says like, I'm not a slave and like, leave me alone type thing. So there's this little banter going on between me and my phone, which I think is really hilarious. And a lot of people get it. And so that's pretty much it. So now it plays the thing. But nothing will come up when you ask it to play. Like you won't get that little Siri thing, you won't get anything. It'll just start playing. So you wanna turn your volume up to max. And now if I cough, now here's the thing. As in the video, it didn't trigger it, which I think is fine because again, you can play into that whole, this is your cue. That's supposed to, I said,
Your card is the ace of clubs, idiot.
and there you go. So once that is done, you really don't want anyone else coughing around you because it'll just repeat the same thing. And the second one is the knock. It's a little bit more surefire. Just knock like you would on a door and be like, oh, Siri.
Stop summoning me, you piece of shit magician. I'm not your slave. Tell your stupid spectator to look under the box. Abracadabra.
And there you go. So that is how to train your Siri to become your genie. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, if you want to see more of my ideas that I come up with, I'm constantly brainstorming and creating new routines. A lot of them I don't want to film yet because we're keeping them for like our live show that we're doing. We're touring Canada right now. So if you want to cop some tickets, check out the link tree below. We're going to Calgary, Winnipeg, Victoria, Vancouver, possibly Toronto, Edmonton, Montreal. So check out the links there. We would love to see you at our live show. It'll be Wes and I doing a live podcast. It will be filmed and we're gonna have a great time. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.